And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the bottom line. Lanny Ford, Remembered along with you. Got the names right this morning, Bob, if you're watching. Juju played the part of Ford Rembert last night.
I'm really sorry about that.
That's okay. And Bob told me early. I just wasn't sure what he was saying. He said Ford's on board, and I'm like, I didn't see him join.
I put a like because I'm always on board.
Glad to have you on board with us this morning. A lot of things to talk about, differing views and opinions. The biggest one I want to get is yours. I'd love to I just share mine. I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm not asking you to agree with it. I'm just asking you to allow me to give my opinion, and I want you to think about it, because that's the thing that we don't do today is we don't think enough about what the complication or situation is, and we need to do more of that. We need more than than just one opinion. We're struggling with that to some regards. Let's start baseball. Dodgers beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
I thought Dan Patrick had a good take about the one-game playoff, okay? And his take was simply this. Let me get to it. His take was, when it came to baseball, that the only reason that this was such an uproar was because the four teams that were in the wild card. Yankees and Red Sox, Dodgers and Cardinals. Sure. He said, had it been the Orioles versus the Twins, nobody would have said. Most people would have said, just flip a coin and give it to one of them. It don't really matter. Yeah. So is there something to that? Now, John Smoltz says that he doesn't like the one game. He would like to see it more because that's the way baseball's played. Baseball's based on series. Yeah. But you have a differing opinion. You had 162 games to get it done.
Yeah, I mean, you got 162 games to figure it out. You don't need three more. Now, again, Smoltz, MLB guy, he's been there, done that. Player, analyst, I get it, More baseball is more baseball. But at the same time, that's what were the ratings on the Yankees and Red Sox?
It's probably pretty huge.
And then last night with the Cardinals and Dodgers, and Dan Patrick's got a good point. I mean, if it was, two other teams that maybe aren't as, I guess, as popular, then it's kind of like you said, they just flip a coin. Do I really have to watch this?
Yep.
But when the Yankees and Red Sox are playing, all eyes are tuning, and ears are tuning in, right?
Yeah. So the AL division is set. Red Sox and Rays gets underway on Thursday night. Chicago White Sox and Astros, they get underway on Thursday night. The NL gets underway with the Braves and the Brewers. What makes that interesting is the Braves came from Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. That makes it a little bit different.
Yeah.
That one gets underway on Friday, and then the Giants and the Dodgers.
Yep.
That gets underway on Friday as well.
Yep.
When you look at it, Juju asked me last night, of course he knew that I really don't have a dog in the fight, who I thought. Now, Kiever will be all over those Red Toes because he is a Red Sox guy.
Yeah.
If you had to pick, make your pick now, who is your two teams in the World Series, and then who's your ultimate winner?
Holy cow. I just think the Dodgers are going to make it back. I just have that feeling. And your first instinct say Tampa Bay. I think the Red Sox are going to pull it out.
Okay.
You
heard it here first. And then who wins that matchup? Red Sox or the Dodgers? That would be a great matchup for baseball.
I mean, it would.
If MLB could pick one, that would be the one they would want to see.
Man, that's who would have the most home games? Would it be the Dodgers in that World Series?
I'd have to go back and look.
I think it'll go to 7.
So nobody wants to see a Astros-Dodgers rematch?
Oh, I guess that's okay. I just
because of the ugliness.
Yeah, I don't. It really doesn't intrigue me anymore.
Morning, Richie.
Beating on the trash can. I mean, they were going
smoke
after
signals.
those guys, and I can't believe you did this and did that. And
Stop doing that.
Kind of embrace that. Why do you embrace so much with fantasy football and how much people take stock and interest into what you're doing every Sunday?
I don't know where that came from exactly.
I came from a really
I still don't.
small town in Colorado.
Is that you?
Not you.
Sorry. And just like the support,
Well,
I've got the malfunction going on. Holy cow.
I pull up
Sorry.
websites and they start playing
I know,
sometimes.
I was looking up and
Yeah.
it's coming
It's
from
okay.
the clouds.
It's okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that Red Sox and Dodgers would be just a, and quite honestly, Laney, it's playoff time. It's a toss-up right now.
Yeah.
It is.
Padres make the first move, firing Jay Tingler, I guess. A lot of folks say there's going to be a change in New York. Yankees haven't been to a World Series in 17 years.
It's probably time. I mean, that's the problem when you go after talent only. Talent doesn't win championships. It can win you ball games.
So what's the key?
You got to bring it all together. I mean, you got to have some, grinders in there. And not saying those guys don't play hard, but I mean, when does the Yankees ever have a full lineup? Yeah. I mean, come on. Hey, you got to make a splash, Sonny. Got to make a splash.
I know.
All right.
So baseball gets started tonight, and we'll try to keep you updated on that. I made a thing last night. I am adjusting my Panthers prediction. Not by much. Instead of 8-9, I'm going 10-7.
Because he started off pretty well.
No, because they're making trades they've never done before. The Panthers have never went out.
It's very true. It's very interesting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
There's
Yeah,
a different
absolutely.
philosophy, and maybe they are. And the word, what most people are saying is the Panthers are in a win-now mode because they're trading away some draft picks.
They are.
The Panthers have never done that. So I'm going to adjust a little bit. It's still not enough to take them very deep. They may make the playoffs, but I'm not so sure. But it is nice to see them making adjustments based on what's happening instead of just kind of floating through. So that's a whole different philosophy that we've never seen, not even last year.
It's so interesting, Lenny, because you see different kinds of, I guess, teams. Let's just say people in general, and they're always getting ready to do something, getting ready for it, but never do it. It's kind of like what you do when you defer all your draft picks for down the road, right? You're trading for this in the opposite of Panthers. Let's say you're trading away and receiving future picks. You're getting ready for down the road. You're getting ready. Well, we see very few teams actually take advantage of that in a draft. New England comes to mind. They do a pretty good job of that, trading during the year and then getting that extra pick for, a year or two down the road, right? In the Panthers' case, they're ready right now. They're ready to go. They're ready to do business. They're ready to get those players in. Like you said, the cornerback position continues to be of interest.
But the other thing of it is, I think another reason they're making some moves, and even if J.C. Horn had not gotten hurt, I think you still would see them making some move because I think they have been a little bit surprised and maybe updated their outlook based on Sam Darnold and how the offense is playing. And I like a team that constantly monitors what their situation and status is and makes according moves to make them a better team.
I don't think they're being reactionary at all in what they're doing. I think they're actually, trying to get out in front of it, saying, even though they're reacting to what happened, they're not being like, they're not freaking out. Is what I'm saying. They're trying to make calculated moves.
Correct.
Does it give you that appearance that that's what they're trying to do? That's the read I get on it. That's what it looks like they're trying to do. They make calculated moves instead of just saying, "Oh no, so-and-so."
Gilmore's coming off an injury.
Right.
They traded a 2023 draft pick in the 6th round.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of value to it. I mean, let's just be honest.
Right. It's not like they can't get two of those back later.
Bob said they need to make adjustments on the offensive line. How long has it been? Well, Juju and I talked a little bit about that last night. In the NFL, you don't make a lot of changes. When you bring a corner in, cover 3, cover 2, cover 1, man under.
We'll look at Richard Sherman.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
The terminology, the concept is the same, but every offensive scheme is different.
Because they just look at each other defensive backfield and do this, or
sky,
this.
cloud. Yeah.
They give them the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 look, right? But to Bob's point, at what point do they address those needs? And that's more likely, I think we would think, in the offseason. That way they get them in, get the system right. It's kind of like when you trade a quarterback and they come in and 2 weeks later they're playing, they're still learning that playbook and what everything means. So, good. That's a good topic Bob brought up. Yeah.
Andrew says replacing one chicken with another, is that really a calculated move? Andrew, stop it.
He's already started this.
Stop it. I'm not a chicken fan either.
It's
but
11 after 8.
But here's the deal.
He's throwing lightning bolts already. I love it.
When they signed that contract in the NFL, they're no longer a chicken as far as I'm concerned. I've got to move on from that. Richie said Gilmore is from Rock Hill. Played at the University of South Carolina, and his house is apparently on the same road as Panthers GM.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So, I think he'll be a contributor.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a contributor. So we'll see.
In many ways, too. I mean, he's a local guy,
and he's a veteran. He's
right. That's just there's a lot of things that can come to the locker room from that too, Laney.
Now, I'm going to bring something up here, and I promised last night that I would help get your blood flowing this morning.
Okay.
NFL viewership is up 17% from last year.
Because they're playing football.
Okay. Compared to 3% to 2 years ago. Now, here's the thing, and this was my take on it, and this is what I said last night. In case you missed it, I'll give you my take this morning. I think the reason that it is up is because, as of right now, you're only seeing football during the broadcast. You're not seeing the distractions that we've seen. Nobody's asked to take a political side. Nobody's asked to take a specific agenda. Nobody's asked to support this side or that side. They're just playing football. People go to sports as a release. This is a way to kind of escape reality to some respects. I made the comment last night. I make it all the time. I do not watch TV that reminds me of the crap that I deal with every day. If I'm watching TV, I'm watching something that helps me remove my mind from the crap that I have to deal with on a regular basis. That's why I watch a lot of law shows, because I'm interested in that. I don't deal with that. Never been arrested. Don't plan on being arrested. And so I like watching that kind of stuff. If I'm watching stuff with families and couples and dealing with day-to-day activities, I live that life. Why do I want to watch that on TV? I want to watch mindless comedy. That's what I want to watch, or get lost in some kind of intrigue as far as it's concerned.
Getting lost and wrapped up in what you're doing, what you paid to go see, what you are interested in.
One of the and I think this was Tuesday night is my night on CBS. FBI International, FBI Most Wanted. Love them. Love them. And I can't remember if it was the 8 o'clock or the 9 o'clock show. And what made this one so interesting was it was about something that I know about, but I know very little about. There was a guy had $20 million of cryptocurrency Bitcoin stolen that he was having transported on thumb drives, basic thumb drives, to Switzerland to be put in a bank in Switzerland that stores cryptocurrency. And it was a great show because it probably is real. I mean, they probably do. And he hired former law enforcement officers to pose as a couple and transport this. And, some people got shot and people found out about it. And it was, and the guy was talking about, this was the rich guy, the billionaire. He said, since we've been talking, I've already lost $50,000. Are you about done? Are you going to find my money? So I like that kind of stuff because it kind of lets me escape a little bit. And that's what sports does. And that's why I don't care what your opinions are as an athlete or a coach. do it on your time, not on company time. You're an employee. That is an employee-employer relationship. If there's money changing hands all the way back to the world's oldest profession, that is a working relationship. So when that is happening, do your job, perform, do your job. And if you want to buy some time or somebody wants to hear you speak about your beliefs and that type thing, I do it here, but you can turn it off. If you don't like it, you can turn it off.
I think that's what happened to the NFL and other leagues for a couple of years.
That's exactly right. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to deal with it. It didn't interest them. It had nothing to do with what was going on in the world of sports. And so I think that's kind of what happened. So I'm glad to see it back up, and I hope baseball does well. And, even the NBA, I hope it comes back. But, last Thursday night, Jacksonville-Cincinnati game, $8.5 million, the best showing for a non-Fox or CBS shared game since the Browns and the Jets in 2018. Thursday night used to be throwaway night. Nobody wanted to watch any game.
It's fun to watch Thursday night football.
Right. And then, if they could have continued the broadcast and just followed Urban around while he was in that bar, that would have made the broadcast even better. I'm going to talk about that next. Don't go anywhere.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. I had to make sure Ford had his blood pressure medicine before we got started on this next topic. Get him fired up here this morning. Thanks for being with us. I promised you some Urban Meyer talk, and I give it to you. Here's what's going on with Urban. Urban got into a little bit of trouble in certain people's eyes. And I'm going to explain this. I'm just going to give you the facts. I'm not saying certain things are right, certain things are wrong, nothing along those lines. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just going to give you the facts. And then you make your own decisions. You have your own opinions. But what I'm going to do, this is a little clip from Urban's apology. Okay? This is, let me turn my music off. I'm sorry. This is Urban's apology after the incident, and then I'll explain the incident. Well, hit the right button, Lanny.
Last few days, did you ever feel distraught enough to consider resigning at all?
No.
Do you feel like the distraction will or could take away at all from any of the preparation for yourself or for the team going into Sunday?
Well, I'm in a fight to make sure that doesn't happen. As of now, no, I don't see that one bit.
How will a win this week sort of help the morale of the team?
A win will, I'm dealing with this personally, but the win as far as the organization and the team will do wonders.
And that has been the way that this works in the world. If Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars were 3-0 instead of 0-3, this would not be an incident. This would have not even made the news. Okay? So my whole take on this is, if it's wrong when he's winless, it's got to be wrong when he's winning. And we've already seen it with coaches, with athletes. I am not justifying and saying it's right. I'm just saying be consistent. We see it with athletes all the time. Certain athletes that have baggage, that do crap, get caught with crap, depending upon where you stand in that pecking order to contribution to the team, depends on how much the team will take of that before they separate ways. I'll never forget the kid that got busted for some pot when the Panthers broke camp a couple years ago, was headed home on the bye week and got busted going up the road, and they cut him right then. He was just a practice player. They didn't want the distraction to the team.
Right.
But depending upon where you are, you will find out how much you take. There are all kind of stories about Urban Meyer when he was at Florida and what players got to do, when he was at Ohio State and what players got to do and coaches got to do. I mean, the whole reason he left Ohio State was because he was kind of shielding and hiding one of the assistant coaches and some of his indiscretions. Folks, you got to be consistent. Now, is it any of our business? Absolutely not. This is between he and his family, and it's between he and Shad Khan, the owner of the Jags, because Urban gets a check from Shad. It means Urban works for Shad. It's an employee-employer relationship.
Right.
and that will determine whether he stays. Now, one question that was posed yesterday, and I can't remember if it was Cowherd or Dan Patrick, if Urban had a mulligan, would he still be sitting on the set at Fox, on Fox Sports, being an analyst instead of getting back into this fray? This wouldn't have come up if he were an analyst on Fox Sports. You don't know that it's happened before, but it wouldn't have made news.
Yeah, I don't know.
So my whole thing is, are we making too much out of it? Did he commit a criminal act? Nope. Did he create or commit a morality act? Depending upon what you believe, yeah. That's where we're at. But now he's being dressed down by the court of public opinion. And just like he said, and I don't like that comment, a win will fix a lot of things.
That's the world we live in, isn't it?
And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that his wife borrowed a phrase from Bill Belichick and said, "We're on to Cincinnati." Or we're on to whatever. Yeah. You know, we're moving on.
Well, imagine if he handled this whole thing like that. You know, what would they do? Now,
this apology that you just heard, that was not something that was immediately done.
Mm-mm.
He did not acknowledge or kind of take responsibility for this for a while. And that was the other thing that kind of rubbed some of the team the wrong way. I think if he had went to the team immediately, there's a lot of guys on the team. Don't make it right. There's a lot of guys on the team that have done the same thing, but if he just said, "Look, guys, I screwed up. I shouldn't have been there. I don't mean to cause this distraction to us. We need to be concentrating on football." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so we all have our own set of standards that
Correct.
we live by, okay? So, you know, we don't know. We can only assume, okay, that this type of behavior has gone on in the past. There are others that may assume that this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. In his mind, he may not have seen anything wrong with that because that may be something that, you know, is I wouldn't say a frequent occurrence, but maybe something that's just, you know, there. I'm not excusing or saying anything's right or wrong, okay? You know, the fact of the matter is, you know, you put yourself in certain situations, you know, it is what it is. You know, what comes of it comes of it. And, you know, with where he is and the limelight that he's in, you know, scrutiny will follow, you know, and, you know, like you said, you know, when you're, you know, 17-1, you know, you just won your first playoff game, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're 0-3, 0-4, that, you know.
My wife has the comment of the day, "Wow, for Rembrandt's a good husband, sitting there quietly. Not mine. Amazing what is overlooked. I can about guarantee it has happened before." Well, if anybody would know, honey, you would, because he stands up to pee. So those individuals are just, they're hell creatures. They were created out of the belly of the beast, and we all know that. Richie said it would have made the news, but it would just have been mentioned and everybody would have moved on had the situation been different. Andrew said it's a little funny to me that he left Florida due to some heart issues. He wasn't having any heart issues while sitting on that bar stool. And Richie said, "I don't know. He may have had some heart issues, heart needing to beat more to keep the blood flowing correctly." What? So there you go.
Holy moly.
There you go. So I'm not overlooking anything. I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm just trying to put it in perspective with his job. That's all that I'm doing. I'm putting it in perspective with his job. What he does on his personal time, that's his business. That's not my business. That's not anybody else's business.
Well, I think
now, but it still goes back to, and you know this too, just like people on Facebook. If you attach the place that you work at on your Facebook, then you have brought your employer into your personal life and the things you do on your personal time. So if you're snorting a line on video, you probably need to remove your company name from it because, or if you're doing Jell-O shots, or at a wet T-shirt contest, the company may not want that reflected upon them because you have linked the two of them together. So if you want your company to be part of who you are, you got to kind of live up to those company standards. Now, I don't know what the standards of the Jacksonville Jaguars are. I don't know what the standards of an NFL football franchise is as far as what they expect.
Well, that's it. There's always an expectation, right? And, when you excuse me, when you look at things objectively, all right, you say, well, this is what we expect. And then you get subjective with, things that go – anyway, when you see a 22 or 23-year-old quarterback that handles things better than the head coach, and doesn't have near the life experience, it calls into question some things. Now, again, that's just – an observation. The one thing I can tell you about is this. The last 6,000 years, things have gone on. The next 6,000 years, likely a lot of those same things are going to go on. And it's all about really what's most important, right? And I'm not dismissing anything that he did or didn't do or whatever. But when it comes down to it, are we really spending all of our effort and focus and energy worrying about what Urban Meyer does, or trying to address the matters most important to those?
A lot more serious things going on.
Yes, and my thing is, it's like this self-celebration stuff in today's world. When we watch all these shows where they come up and give each other awards, it's just self-celebration of celebrity stuff. And, when it all comes down to it, yes, I'm engaged with college football. Yes, I'm engaged with pro football, high school football, and I absolutely love it to like there's no tomorrow. But at the same time, there are things that are needed locally to be addressed, people that need help. I know people have to do things for a living and magnify things, but when it all comes down to it, the head coach should not act that way, and it's between him and his wife. Then you can take it from there.
Todd said, heavy is the crown, like it or not. People like to knock people down, especially those in public eye. Well, there's no sport in knocking people down that nobody knows. I mean, my wife said, wow, whoever said that about his heart just proved my point and your stupid phrase. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that. Why are you up? I don't understand. Bill Klein said, had it been you, for, or me, nobody would have cared. They would have just said, dirty old man.
Golly,
that's a good one. I like that one.
Oh, gosh.
This is kind of why I saved it till today, because I figured my wife wasn't watching last night, but I knew she'd be watching today because she's a big Ford Rembrandt fan. Because you're good, I'm bad. You're good, and I'm evil. God. That's the way that works. Let me take a break, and then I want to discuss with Ford the philosophy at Clemson University with players. I'll give you more details in a minute.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembrandt today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Andrew, are you still out there? I'm gonna touch a vein with you too.
Oh God!
I'm gonna touch a vein with you. A couple comments that came in. Four's lovely wife Mandy has weighed in and said, "Like it or not, there's a price you pay for being in public eye." I have always said that, Mandy. When these athletes, movie stars, TV stars, whoever, my private life's my private life. No, when you take the check. Yeah. When you take the check that's supported by the public, you've made a decision. I don't have a private life anymore. Okay?
Take the check, you get the heck.
That's right. Richie says, Urban is wrong about what he did. We all agree with that. However, I have more important things to worry about than what he did. That is correct, Richie, except for my wife. My wife is more concerned. Now she chimes in, not me. I would have cared. With power comes great responsibility, and he should not be setting that kind of example. And no, it wouldn't be better if he did it behind his wife's back. I don't care what he does. It has nothing to do with me. It has no effect on me. Do I view him any different? No, I've always kind of felt he was an arrogant ass anyway, so it didn't really matter to me. I don't care what he does.
I don't know if anybody's really shocked about this.
He's not Bobby Petrino yet, but he's working on it. He just don't have a motorcycle.
Man.
He don't have a motorcycle.
Great point.
That we know of.
Oh.
Okay, let's get back to something serious here. There has been a lot of comments made about the philosophy of Dabo Swinney, and I have pulled no punches that I am not his biggest fan.
Right.
One of his philosophies is he has refused to participate in the transfer portal.
To now.
Wait a minute. Let me spread the whole story here. Now, Dabo has put a ton of kids in the transfer portal because of the way he recruits. He brings them all in, lets them fight for it, and then, hey, you're just not going to work out here. Go. That's true. That is a true statement. Because there's three pretty good Clemson quarterbacks playing around the country right now that I'd rather have than DJ. My opinion, Andrew, my opinion. Now, he hasn't wavered on his belief in developing the players he signs rather than adding from the transfer portal. Right. My question is this, that is a philosophy that he has adopted.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, that is an egotistical philosophy because nobody can pick talent like I can and nobody can develop talent like I can. But if this is whether you like it or not, and we're not all fans of the transfer portal, whether you like it or not, it is here, and it's like other things. If you don't get on board with it, you're going to get run over and left behind because everybody else is taking advantage of it. It is part of today's game.
Yes.
Is he hurting his program with his view of not being part of that? Because there are some offensive linemen that could have helped him this year that went through the transfer portal.
Right. No, that great point to be brought up. And, the one thing, that great leaders oh, God.
My wife, pardon 1 second. Oh, my God. Now, Dabo, you are killing me this morning.
You're not good. You don't need to go home.
I don't care.
I was looking to see a while ago.
If I had a shower here, I wouldn't need it.
If she was anywhere around.
If we could put a shower in here, I'm good.
I was looking to make sure.
Okay. I'm just saying. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. It's just good stuff.
Okay.
So, but with the way that he views things, and we're just talking out loud here, but it's really easy when you have ETN, Trevor Lawrence, that wonderful offensive line, several wideouts, and experienced defense to say, well, this is the way that we do it. Mm-hmm. Now, when you have to start I wouldn't say rebuilding, but when you have to start reloading and some of those bullets are no longer in your chamber, they're in someone else's because of the portal and what you recruited, then it becomes a problem. Then you've got to go out and pull back in what you've lost through competition. I think to a point he's right with the way that he recruits and provides opportunity for them to compete. The issue is the ones that don't make it enter the portal and are gone. That's, like you said, that's the whole issue. So the opportunity to compete is there. The problem is that as that talent goes out, it's not being filtered back in through other means except freshmen, that are being recruited that aren't ready yet. You've got to have some maturity in today's world.
I asked you a question so I can get another comment out of my wife. Okay. He doesn't use the portal coming in because he feels like he has picked the best talent.
Yes.
He develops them in-house.
Right.
Okay. And he does it through competition.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But he has, and I think part of that is I don't want to bring somebody from the outside in, which has been my problem, bringing somebody in from the outside when this kid's worked his tail off, but this guy's better. If he'll bring him in, he can start over, but yet he's paid his dues and he's not going to get his opportunity. Okay? I don't think that is Dabo being loyal to his players. Mm-hmm. I think that's an ego thing. Because he has no problem with these kids that he's brought in and promised the world, well, we had competition and you just didn't work out. You know, if you want to go somewhere else, you can go somewhere else. It's a two-sided sword.
No, it is. It's a double-edged sword.
And
for
so
sure.
you can't say, well, I'm all about the kids and what I'm bringing in and my commitment to them, because if they don't win out a position, he walks away from them.
So or lets them go. No, you're right. This is a great point. So very few people contribute to Clemson players. They contribute to the program.
That's correct.
So I think that is where, sometimes, like you said, it's a double-edged sword, and trying to find a way to, I guess, to work it both ways, is what's going to have to happen. He's not going to be able to continue on the path he's on just doing it this way to have the level of success he's had in the past because of that dynamic player. Look what Joe Burrow. Now, again, that's an extreme example, But look what he did for LSU. And yes, they did win a national championship.
You take out the Joe Burrow year. You take out the Joe Burrow year, and they're awful. And you're going to see that by the end of the year when Coach O's gone.
But Joe Burrow, yes, he did win that. He was a major part of winning that national championship. The point is, at what into what you're saying, at what point offensive line, maybe a defensive back, wide receiver, whatever, that had some issues somewhere else that you bring in after a year or two, or even a graduate transfer that's got experience at quarterback, to come in and just be a distributor, not necessarily the playmaker. Just make sure everything's running smooth and get it to where it needs to be to the athletes. These are great questions. I think in today's world, or at any time in history, you either adapt or die. There's often, I think, a misunderstanding of change. We often hear only the strongest survive. That has not been proven true. What's been proven true is those most willing to adapt to change and embrace it to find opportunity in other areas, and through rebranding. Well, no matter what it is in life.
Todd sums that up. He said, no organization stands still. If you're not moving and adapting, then you're moving backwards. If you're not embracing what is available to you because you don't want to, you're moving backwards because everybody else is. Adapt or die.
Or die.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, somebody has hijacked my wife's Facebook page because it says, I will say Dabo still has a job to do, and that if it's at his disposal to help him to do his job, he should use it. You can't be a Dabo supporter and say stuff like that. Now, Andrew, here we go. Andrew said, I think you may be missing his idea on the transfer portal. He is huge on commitment even in the initial recruiting process. In his mind and words, he doesn't want Clemson being someone's second choice that they are settling for. He sees those players as committed to someone else.
Yeah.
But here's the other side of it, Richie. Here's the other side of it, Andrew. These may be players that he missed, that he never recruited.
No, I know what Andrew's saying. I get that. And I think the biggest issue is that you can't be 100% all the time. So these could be kids that he, like he's saying, he did recruit that chose somewhere else. But how many times in our lives, okay, and I think this is where Dabo is going to have to maybe make some adjustment. How many times in our lives have we made a decision that we've regretted? And said, wait a minute. I look back on, when I was being recruited in high school by, several, schools, okay. Obviously, Chapel Hill, Duke, all these places. I wasn't interested in that. For some reason, I just wanted to go to East Carolina. I just wanted to be a Pirate. But
4-to-1 female to male, largest party school on the East Coast. I mean, I'm just wrapping up a few facts here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But anyway, Western Carolina was recruiting me at that time very heavily. And Keith LeClaire was a first-year assistant. He had just got through playing. Jack Leggett was the head coach at Western. Now, how different possibly in a coaching venue if I had gone to play for Leggett and, stayed healthy, those kind of, or even not, just in that coaching tree, my life is very likely to be completely different than it is today. Now, am I saying I have regret? No, that's what I'm saying is I'm talking about, there may be people out there that say, hey, I wish I would have gone to Clemson. And it's almost like he would be saying, well, yeah, but you didn't choose us, so you don't get to come here. Now, I'm not accusing him of that. I'm saying I don't know if that's really the right way to look at that. I've had kids that, when they were juniors or seniors or juniors that didn't go play at Post 48. When I was a Legion coach, they said, well, no, I'm going to go play on my travel team one more year. And I'm like, that's fine, but you're missing a really good opportunity here. And then they would say, Coach, I really want to come play next year. Hey, look, you can come out. We'll take a look and see where you are then. Yeah, I mean, and then you embrace that. I had several kids that, weren't ready either mentally or physically. I liked them, but they weren't ready for whatever reason. But then I still embraced them coming out the next year. Now, if I had them come out and then they quit, that's it.
Yeah, well, it's different.
That's different.
Now, just so you'll know, Becky and McKenna, the little Hawaiian girl, they are in Greenville, North Carolina, because McKenna has an interview today for dental school.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so
great
they are
school
at ECU.
down there. Yeah, great school.
And
really
Todd,
is.
I do have a question. Todd says, 4, a catamount, yet another missed opportunity
My
for
mom
my cats.
was. My mom
now,
was.
my question is, what year would this have been?
This is the fall of 90.
The fall of 90?
Yeah, so I graduated from high school in the summer of 90.
Okay. All right. My question to you, Todd, is would they have been playing night baseball? Did they have electricity in Western at the end? Or had it made it into
had this thing where they did
it had
this.
made colorway? Yeah.
They pumped.
No.
And then the sunshine.
I remember moving
in.
Angie
Oh,
Jones in and out into the third floor of a dorm, and I'm like, Tarzan even had an elevator. Holy God, they even had that in colorway. So I'm just saying. Richie said if it hadn't been for Joe Burrow, Coach O would have already been gone. And you're probably right.
I mean, that's a great point, and it is what it is. And again, it all goes back, circling back to the Urban Meyer thing. When it comes down to it, whether we like it or not, whether we agree with it or not, a majority of it's based on wins and losses. To your point,
Andrew said, I don't think it's ego-driven at all. Mm-hmm. I also don't think he sends anyone to the portal. They choose to enter the portal. And I agree with that. And I did praise him with Kelly Bryant. He went to Kelly Bryant and said, look.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to move because we're going to move forward with Trevor. If you would like to go somewhere else, I will completely release you so that you can continue your career. And I admire him for that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, you got to bring those kids in too.
Yeah. Well, and I be very clear. Andrew brought up a good point. He said, I don't think it's ego. I can't get inside, obviously, Dabo Swinney's head. But what we're talking about is the perception to a lot of people, especially now that they're not in the national, top 2 or 3 or even top 5. That's what I'm laughing too. That's kind of what I'm getting at is there may be a perception, even though that's not the reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Todd said that's Rich coming from West Lincoln. We used the light from the Steel Fires, the real Mountain Dew up in Cullowhee. Oh, I know.
It's going to get good.
Andrew says that he doesn't think it's ego-driven, and I'm sorry, just a little of it for me, I feel like it is. Landon, after what he did for your daughter, how can you say he has an ego? He took a freaking picture. He put off some media people.
Dude, now you're
put off some media
really,
people to take a picture with my wife and my daughter because they had asked for a picture when we were at ACC Media Days, and he was going somewhere, and he said, as soon as I come back, I'll do it. And somebody tried to get him to go do something else on his way back, and he said, no, I promised that. I didn't say he wasn't a good guy. That's not what I said.
For me right quick.
Yeah.
I need full name, social security number, date of birth.
Yeah.
I'm taking out a really quick policy on you.
I'm waiting on one. I got him in the hopper.
But I'm taking out real quick, catastrophic.
No, you can't do that because I'm already worth a whole lot more dead than I am alive. So
well, I'm going to share in this.
Okay.
So. The Landon Foundation.
But that's a different thing. I'm not doubting him as a person and as a man. I'm just not as excited about his football decisions that he makes. That's my point. You can't say, well, we're better than picking up kids from transfer portals. You may have kids in the transfer portal that you could make a difference in their life because of a bad experience they had at a school. So why would you not want to be able to work with that kid?
And family dynamics have a lot to do with where a kid decides to go.
Sure, it does.
Think about,
recruiters will tell you mama controls most of the decisions in scholarships.
No, it is. And Caleb Farley.
That's why my mama's still mad at me. Bless her heart, God rest her soul.
With his situation, just being a couple hours away from home where he could come back and be with his mom, he may. Now, again, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying he did or didn't go to a certain school. But, I mean, that could be a factor, with siblings or parents or even grandparents, any of those things. And, when those things – maybe when situations change and then that young person sees an opportunity to be able to maybe go a little further out or to go maybe where they truly wanted to go but couldn't, then, and again, that may or may not be the case with. It may be extreme. I'm just giving you an example of some of the reasons that the portal, is a good reason. There's a million reasons it's not, but that's one of the reasons that it is good.
I'm just saying that, and I go back to Todd's point, which I think is huge. Everything that you're doing today, a little something's going to be different tomorrow, because that's just the world that we live in. Yep. If you don't adapt, if you want to crawl in a hole inside your shell and say, I am not doing it, I am putting my blinders on. I'm not mentioning anybody's name off the top of my head, but I'm putting my blinders on and all this stuff around me doesn't exist, you're going to get squashed and left behind. Yeah. I mean, it's just that simple. You have to embrace change or get out. One of the two. Ronnie said, Dabo has a job, and that is to win. Use all tools available to do the job. That is my point, Ronnie. That's exactly what I'm saying. You got to get off of, well, this is my philosophy. No. Your philosophy is whatever is legal and ethical to do inside college football to win football games. That would be awesome, Kim. Let you and Mandy do a show. It's always available. All you got to do is hit the button. I don't care. I let my kids get on here, so it's okay. But here's the deal. You have got to do what you've got to do to win ethically, legally, inside the rules. That's all that I'm saying. And if you don't like one of those rules and say, well, I'm just not going to do it, you're going to get squashed. Well, I think you're getting squashed this year.
I think a lot of times you hear the word loophole. And for
this
some
isn't
reason,
a loophole.
No,
this
no,
is
no,
a
no,
rule.
no, I understand that. But you hear that word and immediately, and I say you, I'm talking third person. When you hear that word, you immediately think, well, something's not right, something's illegal. No, that's part of whatever code or set of rules that has been listed and given.
Correct.
That makes it legal. It's almost like the transfer portal by some, is almost equivalent to the tax code, right? People say, well, it's a great thing. I can use this and come on in because it's legal. And others saying, it just seems a little suspicious to me. I'm not sure I want to do this. So even though I'm not using the full benefit of what I got, I still got some goods over here, and I'll just get by with that. Unfortunately, you've got to be able to be on the same playing field and understand. Now, if you have a philosophy that, hey, we're going to take 0 transfers, all right, 0. We're not doing that. Okay, and you say it from day one. Then you live and you die by that philosophy and that decision. Okay, I'm not saying that's what he's saying. I'm just giving an example. So, at what point do you adapt, maybe the way you feel? And there was a statement that Coach Swinney put out, I think, was it last week or this week, saying, well, in the past we haven't utilized it because of this, but it was almost like there was an open door that maybe, hey, we're going to start taking a look at this.
That's because Richie talked to him. And Richie said if he doesn't use the tools available to him and win, he will not be a head coach much longer. The transfer portal has changed college athletics as we know it. That is the truth. We've already seen it. So you've got to. Andrew said just a ton of doubt after a 2-2 start, considering the success. I guess time will tell. I hope they get it fixed if it comes to using the portal if they have to. Here's the thing. Andrew. The part that is more concerned, not the 2-2 start, it's how much it looks like they've fallen back without having the talent there.
Yeah.
Get away from the injuries, but you've brought people in, and it's almost like you can't accept the fact that I might have missed on some kids. I need to punt a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with me. Teleportal. He meant the teleportal, not the portal. The teleportal. I guess he's Star Trek. I don't know.
I think the perception is that after 4 years of ETN and the good run with the quarterbacks that he's had, Boyd years ago.
Nick does it.
And then,
just in case you keep it score. Okay.
I know. But I think there is some, and Andrew's right, there's a lot of panic, but that's because there hasn't been any reloading of, the same or similar ammo. It's almost like now they've gone from, a 12 gauge shotgun down to a little 9mm, and that's where people were freaking out. And I understand what Andrew's saying. They've had past success. They've done really well the last decade, but that's the problem. People are seeing it, and it's almost like everybody's wanting to revert back and saying, well, they've done it this way for a while, and those 4-year starters and 5-year players are gone. They're gone, and there's very little in the barn right now to put that product on the field, and that's the issue that people are worried about. You do not see this, and people, whether Clemson likes it or not, they compare them to Alabama. That's what they do, and they don't see this happen in Alabama and say, well, if it's not happening in Alabama, why is it happening at Clemson? That's, unfortunately, sometimes, like Todd said, public eye, this is where you are.
Andrew said agree, but I'm not saying I brought the wrong guys in after 4 games. Not sure many coaches that would give up on their kids quick.
I don't think he's giving up on them. They're just not winning.
I don't think that's it.
Saying.
I don't think that's it. Dabo lost a starting lineman to the portal.
Yeah.
I want to say the center. Starting center to the portal. So there was something there.
What's interesting to me though is the kid from Caldwell County or from Hickory, South Caldwell, that's playing in the NFL now that played Alabama. He went from Florida State to Alabama in the portal. And I think
Landon Dickerson.
I think that it shows just a holistic approach to things without disruption. And to Andrew's point, you never give up on the kid. You keep providing opportunities, but you've also
still got to win.
You also have to put that product on the field, and make sure that what you're doing is benefiting the program first, and play. And then
I'll make one quick statement that I've heard before, and I just can't remember who it is, but we've got to stop thinking about athletics in terms of feelings. We can't worry about hurting a kid's feelings, especially at this level.
You say, one might say that, but in saying that, it's setting the expectation so you don't have to manage feelings when emotional health is extremely important.
Okay.
And by achieving the ultimate high of emotional health, you cut through the feeling stuff and let them know that doesn't matter, that nobody cares except their mommy.
That's right.
And in some cases, their daddy.
That's right.
But nobody else cares about their feelings, that they've got to face it.
Right.
But at the same time, what you say in setting the expectation and then how you help their emotional health
and how you work them through
is what's most important.
You got to get past those feelings.
And what I try to just go ahead and just throw it back on me. What I make sure is that every player that I coach, I tell that to, and I ram it home with them. But I have a great relationship with each individual player on our teams because I spend time at some point once a week with every player and talking about the things and addressing the matters most important to them, football or not.
Here's the deal.
That's the way. And
it's all in how you management. In all my years in working in the broadcasting and the employees that I've had, I only have one person that I had to fire that I still don't have a relationship with.
Right.
Everybody else understood it was business.
And that's going to happen.
It was business.
Yeah,
okay. And no, Andrew, Clemson is not hurting my feelings. I'm just a little disappointed. I'm just a little disappointed that it doesn't look like they were as prepared as I thought they should have been. With because there's not a problem. Yeah, there's not a problem with recruits coming through there. One final thought before we get out of here. Todd said, just a little off topic, Maiden Varsity Volleyball last night beat Bandy's. They are in sole possession of first place, 11-0 in the conference, 12-7 overall. The JVs are 17-0,
really good.
And he thinks that the middle school is also undefeated.
Really good.
So we'll keep up with that. Blue Devils play tomorrow night against
we got Bandy's.
Yeah,
okay. green and gold.
Going to retire a few.
Got three.
I'm gonna break my normal tradition and actually go to the Maiden game for a little bit tomorrow because I want to see James. Yeah.
Well, or whoever might be having their jersey retired. Whoever might be. So.
Mine's not there.
Yeah. Not yet. It will be.
Okay. I don't even have a brick out there. I guess I need a brick, don't I? Listen, Andrew, I can't wait till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Maybe I'll just spout off with some crap between now and then, Andrew. How about that? Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.
See you.